Today we will going to learn another math lesson, and that is integers. But before we formally start discussing integers, let us first review the difference between whole numbers, counting numbers, and of course integers. When we say whole numbers, they simply means numbers starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. Okay? But always remember, when we say whole numbers, fractions are not included. Okay, so here are some of the examples of whole numbers: the 0, the 7, the 212, the 100 or 1023. All of them are whole numbers. When we say counting numbers, they are whole numbers but without 0, because as we all know, we cannot count 0. So when we say counting numbers, it starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Next, natural numbers. When we say natural numbers, it can mean either counting numbers, numbers that does not include 0, or it can also mean a whole number, or numbers that includes 0. So it depends, depending or in our subject. So it depends on the subject. Next is integers. Integers are whole numbers, but they also includes negative numbers. But still, no fraction is allowed. So here are some of the examples of integers. Okay, integers includes numbers or positive numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And also, it also includes negative numbers or numbers less than 0. Integers can be negative and positive, or it could also be 0. We can put that all together like this. Integers can be -4, -3, -2, -1, +1, +2, +3, and +4. As signed numbers. Why it is signed numbers? Because numbers carries a sign. Like for example, -4, it carries a negative sign, so that makes this one as a negative numbers, and this is a signed numbers. We have also here a +1. This one carries a positive sign, so therefore we can call this one as signed numbers. Okay, so the other term for integers are signed numbers, or numbers that have a weight or a size. Okay, but numbers like 1/2, 1.1, 3.5, decimals are not an integer. So this time, let us compare integers. We can see, or let us use this number line, and always remember that as you move to the right on the number line, the numbers get bigger. So starting from 0, if we move to the right, it means to say the number becomes bigger. And as you move to the left, the numbers became smaller. Like for example, this is 0, and if we're going to move to the left, the numbers become smaller. Okay, now this time, let us compare the following numbers using our number line. Compare the numbers using the symbol less than, greater than, and equal. So we have here +2 and -5. So here is our +2, and here is our -5. So as what we can see, numbers that are in the right side are bigger than the numbers that are in the left side. So as what we can see, 2 is on the right side, so it means to say 2 is bigger than -5. So the sign here is greater than. Now let us compare -5 and +4. Still, let us use our number line. Here is -5, and here is our negative 4. That's what we can see. 4 is in the right side of our number line. And negative 5 here is located on the left side of our number line. So it means to say that 4 here is bigger than negative 5. So this one, negative 5, is lesser than positive 4. Okay, now let's proceed to example number 3. We have here negative 1 and negative 2. Which one is bigger? Which one is on the right side? Okay, as what we can see, 1 or negative 1 is located on the right side and 2 is located on the left side. So, based on our line graph, negative 1 is bigger than negative 2 since 1 is located on the right side of our number line. And as you can see, numbers that are in the right side are bigger than the number that is found in the left side. So for this one, negative 1 is bigger than negative 2. Next one, we have 0 and negative 5. So which one do you think is bigger? Is it the 0 or negative 5? The answer for this one is 0 is greater than negative 5. Since negative 5 is located on the left part of our number line. This time, we can also use integers and connect that one in real life situation. And here are some of the examples where opposites are involved. So we have here all of the sentences here are in positive and in these sides are in negative. So when we say 5 kilometers above sea level, it means to say positive 5. When we say above, means add. But when we say 5 kilometers below sea level, it means to say below means negative. So this one is negative 5. Another example, 3 steps forward. When we say forward, we are adding. So 3 steps means plus 3. When we say backward, it means we are subtracting, and this means negative 3. 4 years from now, okay, so it means to say 4 years from now, positive 4. Or 4 years ago, ago means in the past, so this means negative 4. We have also another example, gained weight of 2 kilograms. Gain means to say we add weight, so this is plus 2. Lost weight means we subtract 2 or negative 2. 7 steps to the right means we are moving to the right, so this one is positive 7. 7 steps to the left, we are going backward, so this means negative 7. And the last one, when we say deposit 500, we are adding. That means to say we are positive, or we are adding positive 500. But when we say withdraw, we are getting, means to say we are subtracting 500 or negative 500. Okay, so based on our example, we relate our lesson about integers. Now, we have also another example, and let us relate this one in real life situation. Based on what you can see, we have here thermometers, and the instruction tells us to write the temperature shown on each thermometer. So let's start with number 1. We have here 0, and based on what we can see, okay, the diagram tells us that we are in what degree? We are in positive 7 degree Celsius. Okay. Number 2, As what we can see here, we are below 0, and this one is negative, right? Because we are below 0, so our answer is negative. And based on what we can see, it's negative 2 degree Celsius. Okay, now let's start with the number 3 question. As what you can see here, here is our mark point, and this one is negative. Since we are below 0, this is negative 8 degree Celsius. Let's go to number 4. As what we can see, still the temperature is below 0, so it means to say this one is negative 5 degree Celsius. And the last number, number 5, we are still below 0, which is our mark point, and the answer for this one is in negative, and the temperature for number 5 is in negative 6 degree Celsius. Okay, so actually we can see integers in real life situation. So here are just some of the examples wherein we use negative and positive numbers, or shall we say signed numbers. Now let us recap the things that we have discussed for today. When we say whole numbers, they are simply numbers that includes 0, such as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. When we say counting numbers, these are numbers, or these are whole numbers, but without 0. When we say natural numbers, these are either counting numbers or whole numbers. And when we say integers, these are whole numbers, but it also includes negative numbers. So, thank you so much for listening, grade 6. Hope you've learned something from our lesson, and see you next time.